Are you one of those people that have a lot of dreams and desires, but you never seem to be able to make them happen in your life? Or are you one of those people that you have your dreams and desires and you're just like this manifesting maniac that just whatever you desire, you can just make it happen? Well, I was one of those people who never could make things happen. And so I have just slowly kind of distilled it down to a few steps that really seem to have the magic touch. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this video today. Because we are in a time now where the frequency is so high, the opportunity to be able to manifest pretty quickly is pretty high. But the one thing that Spirit is always reminding me is that it takes the same amount of spiritual energy to grow a blade of grass as it does to create a mountain. So what does that mean, kind of metaphorically? It means, yeah, you might want to manifest a cup of coffee, and that can be very easy to do, or you want to manifest your dream home. The way that the spirit world says is, hey, it doesn't really matter. It takes the same amount of energy, but there are the steps that you can take to bring it more into the reality. So these are the steps that I use. I don't know what anybody else does. I don't know what works for you, but I know what works for me. And let me go ahead and get started with that. So where do dreams begin? Dreams and desires actually begin in your crown chakra, your spiritual chakra. As a matter of fact, your spirit dreamed you into reality. Your spirit dreamed what type of physical human body it wanted to have, whether it was male or female, or what color hair or how tall that you were going to be. Your own spirit dreamed you into reality. So dreams always start in the crown chakra, the spiritual chakra. However, the lower three chakras, chakra 1, 2, and 3, are the physical chakras. You must have those chakras as a activated and participating to actually be able to bring that dream and mold it into having physical shape and physical form. Just like your human body has physical form, your spirit does not. Your dreams don't have physical form. You need to create and make it physical form. Now, the thing about it is, that's why we're here on Earth. That's one of the Earth games that you might hear a lot about, is that spirits choose to come to Earth because they want to learn how to play with physical matter and learn how to manifest physical matter. So let me just give you those some ideas about how I do it. So you don't have to know about the chakra system to be able to make it work for you. So you might want to grab a piece of paper and a pencil to be able to kind of make some notes for yourself. And right at the top, write what is it that you would like to manifest in your life right now. So I use the 7 chakra system because that's going to help me kind of create an outline of form to be able to manifest what I want. Now, it goes much quicker nowadays than it used to, but let's break it down. So now I have a dream, and let's say that the dream is I want to manifest a trip to Egypt. Now, to manifest the trip to Egypt, I am going to need to have the time off. I'm going to need to create the finances for it. I'm going to need to kind of figure out who I'm going to travel with, who's going to be the guide, who I'm going to choose. So let's say that there's this trip to Egypt. Well, the first place I'm going to want to start is the root chakra, the survival chakra that's located between the hips. Now, that's the chakra that really helps you really bring it into physical form. And so I need money. That's going to be the physical form. I need stability in my life to be able to take a vacation. That's going to take physical form. So I start to kind of dream about, how do I need to make that happen? Well, I just need to let spirit know. It's like, I want to take a trip to Egypt. And my spirit goes, yes. And what else? And I'm going to need probably about $7,000 to do that. Okay. And I'm going to be able to need to take some time off and figure out the time of year. All right. And I'm going to need to have somebody watch my dog. So those are the type of kind of survival details that I want to make sure that I put into place. And it's going to be the same if you want to manifest a car, if you want to manifest a job, if you want to manifest moving to your ideal location or for a house or a relationship. All these apply in the same way. All right, so I've got that root chakra, but now I'm going to move to the second chakra, which is located just below the navel area. That one's all about those emotions and creativity. And so you need creative energy to be able to kind of water the seed, fertilize the seed to make it grow. So that's something your spirit can't do. That has to come from a physical form. Now, the average humans everybody has creative flow. And that creative flow comes from the second chakra and it flows right up the body and out the top of the head. But if you're anything like me, when I started almost 30 years ago, my flow to creativity was completely blocked. It took me a few months to get it unblocked and get the flow going again. But the average is kind of about the size of my pinky, is about the average diameter of the average person's creative energy channel. So about the size of a number 2 pencil. So that flow needs to come up and out the top of the head. How do you do that? Well, an easy way is to get maybe a coloring book and a box of crayons, or, work with clay or whatever kind of artistic thing that you want to do. I like baking. That really gets my creative juices going. But you can also just close your eyes and imagine that there's this flow that's building up in the second chakra, and then you want that flow to come out the top of the head. You want to bathe your dream and desire in creative energy. Now, I said that my creative flow is about the size of a number 2 pencil, but I remember once watching a documentary on Dale Chihuly, who grew up here in the town that I'm in. He does all the glass art. His creative channel is about this big around. I mean, it's enormous. So people who create all the time, they can manifest rapidly what they desire because their creative channel is so large. So just to let you know, some people have a large creative channel, some have a small one, like myself. Now, the next level is the third chakra, which is all about power, boundaries, self-esteem, and illuminating your soul's light throughout your desire and what you desire to manifest. So, are you going to be able to handle what you want to manifest? So let's say you want to manifest being a manager of a department with 25 employees. Do you have the self-esteem to be able to manage 25 people? Do you have the power and the strength to hold the space like a school teacher for 30 third graders? You need to build up to that. And so you want to let your spirit know. It's like, all right, I want you to help me build up my strength to be able to handle this that I want to manifest. So your spirit's like, okay, I'm hearing you. I got that. I think I can do that. So you see, you're communicating with your spirit the whole time. Now let's go to the heart chakra, which is about giving and receiving. It's also about giving love and receiving love. So if you're an overgiver, you have overcare and concern for others, and you're just giving and giving and giving, and you can find a lot of people who are just going to take and take and take, but you can learn something from them, because for you to be able to receive what you desire to physically manifest in the 3D world, you have to let yourself have some things. You have to let yourself bring it into your energy field. Your spirit can work overtime bringing your dream and desire into reality for you, but if you can't let yourself receive it, then it's just not going to happen. So practice receiving. If someone says, hey, can I make dinner for you? Sure, I would love it. Don't say, oh no, I'm fine. Say, yeah, I would love for you to make dinner for me. Can I take you to the movie? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I watch the kids for you so you could take a nap? Yes. And so it's just practice receiving, because remember, you want to be able to receive your creations. That comes from the heart chakra. All right, the fifth chakra having to do with communication. You want to communicate those details. Your spirit, you're communicating to your spirit the details you want, but you're also communicating to the body, your body, what you want your body to help you to manifest. So the best way to get those details is to think about the details that need to come into place. You're going to play with it. You're going to dream it. You're going to desire it. You're going to play with it. You're going to write notes about it, maybe draw it out. Maybe if it's a car, go and look at cars, look at houses, if it's a house, or read about, if it's a managerial job, you want to read about managers and CEOs and things like that, so that it helps you to add more detail to what you desire to manifest. And then, of course, the sixth chakra is all about vision. It's about being able to imagine and visualize. But if you're not really a visual kind of person, does that mean you're kind of out of sorts? No, you just make sure you do those things like I said. Look at magazines, look at videos, go out, drive the neighborhood if it's houses. You want to help that visual so that your spirit's like, okay, I'm seeing what you're laying down here. I'm getting it. Because it's like, yeah, your spirit might say, well, here's this house for you. No, that's not the one I wanted. So your spirit's, all right, I need more detail. And then spirit is you're just adding this spiritual ingredient all along the way. So I have this little story that I wanted to share with you before I finish up and give you the last really, really important tip. So Yvonne and I were living at her mother's house. So we had been traveling around the world for about 5 years, and we weren't quite sure if we were going to settle back down here or if we were going to do some more traveling, because we taught intuitive development and traveled. So one of the things, we'd been living there at her mother's for a couple of months. And so she said, well, I'd really like to do something really nice for my mom for letting us stay here. And so one of the things was, she lived at the end of this kind of long dirt driveway. It was kind of steep, and the water coming down had created big kind of divots in the driveway. It was uneven. The gravel had worn down, had washed away. And so Yvonne started kind of looking around, trying to find out, how much is gravel going to cost? How much is it going to cost to get kind of like the heavy equipment to smooth out that driveway? All the details that you need. And it turned out it was going to be quite expensive, more money than we had at the time. But Yvonne would just dream about this and would go out and look at the driveway and try to imagine, because she thought, well, maybe I can get a shovel and fill in some of the holes. So she was really living that dream. Remember, she wasn't visualizing it, but she was really embodying what she wanted. Wanted to see, okay, if I was going to make this driveway wider. So you can see what I'm saying. There was a lot of thought that went into this. And she probably thought about it for several weeks, not years, but several weeks. So one day there's a knock at the door. And this man, Yvonne, answers the door, and there's this construction worker there. And he said, we've been down the street working on this job down there. We finished the job. We built the house. We've got all this leftover gravel. I don't want to take it all the way back with me. Do you mind? Can you use the gravel? Can I smooth out your road and give you this gravel for free? And Yvonne said, well, how much can we pay you for this? And he said, oh, nothing at all. I just appreciate your patience with us bringing our heavy equipment through. So she ended up manifesting, literally, her mother lives so far away from the city. I mean, it is out in the boonies, and how in the world to get someone literally to walk up and knock on your door and say, we're going to smooth out the driveway and we're going to spread the gravel. So I love to share that story about just how easy it could be, but in sharing that story, she filled in all the details of every single one of those chakras. She lived it, she embodied it. Now, what's the last most important tip that I have to share with you? Once you've dreamed it, once you've sorted it out, then you've got to let it go. You have to totally release it. You've got to release it to the universe. You have to surrender that dream. But while you're surrendering it, share when you would like that dream to be manifested, because I had a dream for a long time and it finally manifested 20 years later. Nope, you don't want to wait that long. Some of you might have that patience, but it's like, say, yeah, I would like it to happen next week or in the next 6 months or the next couple of years. But just let the universe know how quickly you want to manifest that dream. You want to be able to let it go. So I've got just one other story about that. I was working with a client, had come in for a reading, and I noticed there were these big kind of balls. They look like big balloons all attached to her auric field. And I said, what is this? All these kind of balloon things attach to your field. And she said, oh, these are my dreams and desires that I have been putting out to the universe. She was really doing it. And she hadn't let them go. She was still hanging on to them, closed-fisted, really tight, was not letting them go, was not trusting that her spirit and the universe could just maybe help her to manifest it. So anyway, those are some really good tricks and tips to helping you to start manifesting. And I would love it if any of you find easy ways to manifest. Share that in the comments section, because I know a lot of people read it and you might give them some additional tips that I didn't even think of. And then if you use those tips that I suggested and you have manifested some things, please come right back to this video and write your story in the comments section so that I can read it. I would absolutely love it. All right, so have fun getting out there and creating and manifesting your dreams and desires, because we are living in a very ripe time for great potential. So let's take full advantage of it. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining me. Bye-bye.